What's up, Internet? This is Skinny at Cobourg Nissan. Behind me, I've got a 2017 Nissan Armada Platinum. If this is your first time looking at an Armada, go get a coffee. This is gonna be a long video. There's a lot to talk about on this amazing 7-passenger. Let's go have a look. All right, so now that you have a coffee, you're all bunkered in, I want to present to you the 2017 Nissan Armada. This is a one-owner vehicle, no accident history, in fantastic condition, and it is the Platinum model. And as I mentioned, this is a little bit longer video because the Armada has some of the best advanced safety features that Nissan has to offer. So I'm going to try to review all of them to give you kind of a better idea of what you're looking at. So this is not a safety feature, but more of a convenience feature. But let's get it started, because as you can see by the flurries that we had last night, it's a little bit chilly out. So we'll get the remote starter going, and when we hop in the car, some of the cool things you can set up the vehicle so that way obviously your remote starter works just a little bit better in these cold or hot conditions actually. So moving right along, the Armada has a 5.6 liter V8 engine. It is an absolute powerhouse. You can see it's got the V8 badging there with this cool little side emblem. And the 5.6 liter, you can tow over 9,000 pounds with this Armada. So you are good to go if you have a trailer, snowmobiles, boats, whatever it is. This will definitely do the hauling for you. Best part of all, of course, is it's a full 7-passenger setup. Now, as we come around the front, I want to talk about some advanced safety features. Unfortunately, you can't see them. They're all kind of hidden, and they're all, kind of programmed into the Armada. But what we have here, just down below, above that license plate cover, that box right there, that is a radar box. And what that radar box does is a couple amazing things for this truck. So this has emergency forward collision warning and forward emergency braking. I probably messed those acronyms up, but essentially what it has is when you're driving, let's say you're fooling around with the radio, changing a station, and the car in front of you is slowing down and perhaps coming to a stop. So it's measuring the distance with that radar to the car in front of you. And if that distance starts creeping in and you're not applying the brakes and it's at that kind of threshold, the Armada can actually grab the brakes and even bring the car to a complete stop for you, hopefully avoiding that collision in front. Now, of course, there are some limitations to that, speed, weather conditions, etc. But it does its absolute best to avoid a collision or obviously reduce the impact on the front end. And that is a great advanced safety feature to have. There's so much going on in the car. We're always distracted, it seems, when we're driving. So that's a great safety feature to have on this vehicle. And then when we hop inside, I'll show you how that feature also works with the cruise control, because this has intelligent cruise, which is really, really cool. So as we move along, you see the car is featured in a beautiful pearl white paint. And over here, we've got the roof rails up top, the satin aluminum roof rails. You've got the beautiful chrome capped mirrors with the indicator in the side. And then if you look underneath, there's even a camera under there. There's actually 4 cameras on the Armada, which gives you a top-down view of the vehicle when you are parking it. So that's really neat. Over here, you see it's got the side steps built in. So yourself or the little ones hopping in the back, they can get in there quite easily. You'll also see on the Armada these beautiful alloy wheels, and this is exclusive to the Platinum. Those are 20-inch alloy wheels on the Platinum. They look amazing, obviously. Nice dark finish on them. Coming around the back, we've got the nice big bold headlights, tail lights that wrap all the way around the side for obviously some safety at intersections. And the Armada is one of the only vehicles that finishes this rear trunk finisher. And it's pretty smart considering the size of the vehicle. If you're putting some stuff in the back, you don't have to worry about bumping that. And it is missing a piece, so I've got to order this cover. But there's a cover for the trailer hitch. But now that it's off, it's nice because I can show you that the Armada already has a hitch installed with the pre-wiring right there. So like I said, if you are going to tow, you're good to go. Now, it does have a power tailgate, which you can flip on just from the keys, or there's a button right under there, and then there's a button there to close it. But this setup here with the seats up, as you can see, you still got some room for some cargo. I've got some returns I've got to make. I've got a Rubik's Cube for my boys, and then I've got the weather mats here, the carpet mats, the original carpet mats that came with the vehicle, because when we hop in, I'll show you, this is already equipped with some WeatherTech winter mats. Now, if you need the seats down because you have more cargo, it's all power operated. So check this out. Everything goes down with power. Now I can't bring them all the way down because I've got those seats up front reclined back from my boys, but it's all power operated, both sides, which is really slick. And you can see that these rear seats even recline back quite far. That's as far back as they're going to recline there. So if you've got rear passengers, have a look. They still have lots of leg room with them being reclined back as they are. It's a very comfortable third row seat, which can't be said about all 7-passenger vehicles, but this Armada is an adult 7-passenger, I like to call it. You can see it's even got grab handles up top for the rear passengers. It's got cup holders, and up there, see that? That's the button, so if the rear passengers want to recline the seat, they can. I'll bring that back up a little bit so I got more room for storage, and we will close her up. But you can see just from that demonstration that it is a full 7-passenger, adults in the back, 7-seater. Like I said, not a lot of them are. I wouldn't say that about our Pathfinder, to be honest. This is certainly, hop them all in the car and you're good. Now as we come around the front, you can see all that beautiful chrome trim, those dark alloy wheels. Another feature that I love on the Platinum, so you have the LED daytime running lights, but then also here, these are LED headlights. And LED headlights are those super bright lights that if you have them in your rear view mirror, they're quite annoying. But on this vehicle here, they are super bright. So that way when you're driving at nighttime, you have some nice bright white lights. Fog lights down the below. Got that nice chrome trim. Big grille on the truck. Look at that. That is a mean looking grille. And then as we come around the side again, I'll show you those rear seats. So on the door here, you've got your intelligent key. You push it once, unlocks driver's side, twice unlocks all the other doors. And then I wanted to show you the setup I have with the booster seats because I got kids and I was driving this vehicle for a couple days here. So I wanted to show you how nice it is set up with the booster seats in there. Nice and easy. You can recline them back so your kids can have a little bit of a snooze. Now, if they're not snoozing and they're driving you bonkers, the Platinum features DVD players in the headrests with 2 wireless headphones. Put them in the car, put on Finding Nemo, give them their headphones, and you don't have to listen to it. You can still listen to the radio while they're listening to whatever they're watching on the DVD player. And if you're taking long trips, I am telling you that is bliss because you don't have to hear all the questions and the arguing and the fighting. So that is one of the reasons why I love the Pathfinder, or pardon me, the Armada with the rear DVD. Now over here you can see it has, try to get there so we don't get some glare. It has the automatic climate control, so you can adjust that temperature, hotter or colder for the rear, and it'll adjust the fan speed automatically. Bring that back in so you can see the fan speeds going down now because obviously it doesn't need as much. And you have heated outboard seats, so the heated seats on the driver and the passenger side in the rear. And another thing that I love is this setup here. Because it's a 7-passenger, you don't have a bench seat here. You have the 2 individual captain's chairs. You've got a cup holder here, and then inside here is where you can put all your DVDs. That is the wireless headphones and the remote in there as well, and the nice bags. And you've got a lot of storage back here for the kids, so that way they can put all their junk and their toys and their DVDs and all that stuff back here. And then here's a better look at those rear seats again. Lots of room back there, as I mentioned. And those big humps in the middle of the seats, those are the headrests. Those actually slide up, but they go right down flush into the seat. So if you don't have people back there, you can see out your rear view mirror a little bit better. And then here are those floor liners that I was telling you about on the floor. Nice big lip so the salt doesn't get onto the carpets in the back. You've got speakers back here, cup holders, DVD players. I'm telling you, if you got 2 kids, this is the one to drive. And then having a look in the front, we've got a sunroof, which I threw the shade over. There you go. Have a look. Nice big sunroof, power, tilt, and slide. And then these beautiful black leather seats with the brown piping and the brown stitching on them. Perforated, really sharp. Look at the stitching that you got here and that brown piping. Of course, power seats, of course, is an Armada Platinum, guys. Power seats, power lumbar support, and you've also got a memory system over here, driver 1 and driver 2. But best of all is you have a power tilt and telescopic steering wheel hooked up to the memory system. So when you get in the Armada, the steering wheel, the seats, the mirrors, and the radio all go to your driver setting based on driver 1 key or driver 2 key, or if you're just using the buttons over here, the mirrors, seat, and steering wheel. So really nice setup. You also have power folding mirrors. It's a bigger car, so if you want to fold those up when you get into a parking lot, you can do that. And they're auto dimming mirrors, so at night, if you have those bright white lights like we have on this truck, when they get into the side view mirror, the mirrors will dim automatically for you, which is really nice, because though it can be really, really frustrating when you're driving behind a nice truck like this with bright lights. There's your power trunk opener. This is for those advanced safety features that we talked about, the forward collision warning and the forward emergency braking. You can turn those off if you wish. Some people prefer not to drive with them on. That's for your blind spot warning there. And then this is to adjust the height of those LED headlights. You can adjust them up or down depending on the roads that you're driving on. Now as we hop in here, oh, it's nice and toasty. So now that I've used the remote start, you actually have to activate the ignition. All right, oops, there's a truck there that distracted me, a plow truck. All right, so now that we got it started, we can go over some of the features on the wheel here. So you've got your radio controls and your Bluetooth controls over here. And then over here you have your cruise control. Now, as I mentioned in the start of the video, this cruise control is a different cruise control. It's called the adaptive cruise. So what the adaptive cruise is, really simple. Let's set it up for you. So we're driving on the highway, you're doing 120 on cruise, and then the car in front of you is of course doing 115 in the fast lane. Shouldn't be there, get out of the way, man. Don't worry about it. Your adaptive cruise will actually pace the smack back of it. It's going to realize the car's driving slower. It will match the speed of that car. It will stay a safe distance back. And then once that car moves out of your way, hopefully it moves out of your way. Once it moves out of your way, it will go right back up to that cruising speed it was at before. So it'll go back up to your 120 and cruise right along. Now, the distance in front of you is actually set by this button here. You have 3 different settings, short, medium, and long. And it's not actually a distance. It's so hard to explain, but it's kind of the braking speed that it's going to brake to the car in front of you. So in other words, if you want it to slow down very gradually to match the car, you leave it on 3. If you're okay with kind of abruptly coming up behind the car to kind of give them the message like, get out of the way, dude, put it to 1. Anyway, you'll find your threshold that you like and that you're comfortable with, but that's that button there. And then this button here is for, and one other feature, this button here is for your lane departure warning and lane departure mitigation. Very big words. What that means is, as you're driving on the highway in particular, obviously you're driving on the highway and sometimes, you know, distracted, you're on the radio and it starts to kind of drift off onto another lane, right? That can happen. The side mirrors, remember how they had the cameras in the side mirrors? They will pick up those lines, and if it notices you drifting, it will not only give you an audible warning, but it'll gently nudge the car back into your lane, and it does that by braking the wheels. So it doesn't actually turn the steering wheel. You're not going to see any of that. It'll just nudge the car back in by braking either the right or the left wheels, and it just kind of drifts it back in and puts you back in your lane and warns you, hey, dummy, look up, you're drifting out of your lane. So that feature, with the intelligent cruise control and the blind spot warning, those features on the highway, oh my gosh, it is an absolute dream to drive this Armada on the highway, because it has all the warnings and all of the convenience features with that cruise control and the lane departure mitigation that you can really cruise on the highway quite comfortably. And it's not so, you know, especially in Toronto with the drivers, let's face it, it's a little bit easier with this car here. So a nice setup again with the Armada. Now, as we're kind of taking you through the top here, I do want to point out that it is a Bose stereo system. Absolutely amazing. So in this Armada, as I showed you, the speakers all the way throughout the cabin of the car. So you've got a great sound all the way to the back. And you can actually isolate the sound just to the front of the car. So if the kids are in the back watching on their DVD player, you can isolate the radio just to the front so it's not so distracting for them as well. You know, convenience, kids, etc. I got them, you got them, whatever. Navigation system up front. Touchscreen system, okay? And then here's that camera. I want to show you the camera now. So that's the front camera. So when you're in drive and you're trying to park this big bad boy, if you're below 10 kilometers an hour, you can hit the camera button and it shows you the front camera. So as you're pulling in, you don't bump a car in front of you, okay? This camera over here is your top-down view. And this helps you line up a car in between the lines and park it nice and straight. Now you see that yellow light that keeps on popping on? That's because the vehicle's equipped with some warnings to tell you if there's a car approaching from the side, the back, or the front. So it's warning me right now that as my guys are cleaning the lot, they're pulling out some cars, there's a car beside me that's moving, just to give a kind of quick heads up, look at what's going on. When I put the car in reverse, Now I have the reverse camera here, so as I'm backing up, I don't bump into stuff there. And the mirrors have now tilted down to give me a little bit better view of what's behind me rather than at the sides. So it's got the auto reverse tilt mirrors and the reverse camera with the top-down view over there. Again, on a bigger car like this, that's a nice feature to have. It is a bit bigger. It's easy to park. The turning radius is simple, but those are just some nice features to have. It has, obviously, FM, AM, CD, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? It's got XM satellite radio, and it also has Bluetooth streaming from your cell phone. So if you have Google Play or Spotify or any one of those streaming services now, you can play it through the audio system without any cords. It just goes through that Bluetooth, Black Magic, whatever it is. I don't know what Bluetooth is. I swear it's magic. But it uses that and plays through your audio system with the same digital quality sound. So that's quite nice to have. As we scroll on down, if you're a fan of buttons, there are a plethora of buttons in the Armada. It's not just all touchscreen activated. You can use the buttons, as you can see there. Even with the navigation system, you've got the zoom on the dial and things like that. So you can still use buttons in the car if you like. It has dual zone climate control, tri-zone. Dual zone in the front, driver and passenger, tri being the rear passengers. They all have their independent temperatures, so that way nobody's complaining, I'm hot, I'm cold, I'm hot, I'm cold. And you can control the rear from the front. So if you have little guys in the back that like to fool around with buttons, you can control the rear just from the front exclusively and lock them out. Again, Nissan, I think whoever designed this car had some kids because they knew that was going to be a problem. Now, as we look down here, this is where you can set up that remote starter a little bit better. So it's on heated or cooled seats. So obviously in the wintertime, when you hop out of the truck, turn it on hot, and then when the remote starter comes on, it's going to heat up your seats. In the summertime, throw it to cooled seats and it will cool down the seats for you because they're leather and they get hot, right? Now that works with a fan underneath the seat. So there's a fan down here in kind of the butt part, and it blows the cold air up through the seats from the air conditioning system, and it is super nice. If you've never had it before, believe me, you'll love it. Heated steering wheel, almost a must. Leather wrap steering wheel heats up within, I bet you, 20 seconds, and it is nice and toasty. So you don't really need to wear gloves with this one, which is kind of nice. And there's your passenger heated and cooled seat control. And then have a look at this nice setup here on the shifter. And then this dial here is for your 4x4 control. So right now it's an automatic. I can go to 4 high, I can go to 4 low. But then on days like last night when it was really, really snowy out and the plows weren't out yet, push snow mode, and what that does is it activates the four-wheel drive system to recognize that there's slippery conditions, and it'll monitor it much more closely. And from a dead stop, it's actually a four-wheel drive. At a stop sign when you get going, it's four-wheel drive, assuming that you're going to slip because you have no traction or momentum to keep you going. So that's a great button to have, and it really, really does work. I used it last night and I loved it. It was a big difference from driving it just in automatic. Tow mode does what tow mode does is it keeps the engine RPMs higher, so it keeps that engine speed a little bit higher, so that way with the load on the back of the truck, the engine isn't searching for gears as much, and it's pulling the load a little bit more efficiently. And then traction control off, don't know why you do that, but you have traction control off. Let's go show you the cup holders because they're massive. Bunch of cup holders, some other change holders, junk holders, power outlets, all that good stuff is all here. And then over here you've got your USB with a spot for your phone. It's a little bit, I mean, I got a massive phone, but this is just a bit narrow for my phone. But if you have a regular size phone, like mine's a behemoth, you'll fit a phone there, no problem. And then over here, lots of junk, because I got lots of junk, but you got a big junk holder here that holds a bunch of stuff. You have some RCA inputs in there as well. If you want to play something through those rear DVD players with your RCA, you can. And then this actually slides. So this is a nice feature. I like this because I like this to be all the way up, so that way I can just hand on the shifter, cruise along. I'm blabbing on, who cares? And then have a look at the passenger setup with that nice dark wood trim that continues down in here. Gives it a nice feeling as you're sitting. There's the passenger view. It gives you a really nice view of the car, and it's a really, really luxurious setup, as you can see. Give you a quick shot of those back seats again. Picture him back there, plugged in, headrests on, watching a movie. You guys are headed up to the cottage. Guys, as you can see, I love this truck. Kind of makes sense. Plenty of room for kids and adults in the back. All the entertainment they need, all the entertainment the adults need as well. So, I mean, what's not to love, right? My name is Skinny. I love working at Cobourg Nissan. You will love buying here. If you're shopping from out of town and you're interested in this vehicle, give us a call or send us an email. We are free shipping practically right across Ontario. So if you have a trade-in, we got that covered as well. Not a problem. We can get all that taken care of through some pictures and an email and a phone call. We've got everything set up here for 21st century car sales experience. Just sit back, enjoy, email us from your couch, and we'll go over all the details and then bring it out to you a few days later. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. This is a beautiful truck. You will love it. Only 65,900 kilometers on it. So let's put it in your driveway. And thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care.